on through. Let's get back to just the traditional radar site here and actually give you the home view. We've been kind of drilling down on this tornado or this potential tornado up in Pike County. So we'll basically, we'll just go up to the live radar view there, and let's go ahead and I'm just trying to decide. Let's just go look at the home view right now and give you the bigger view. And you can see that line is now, the worst of the line. It looks like it's through Evansville. It does pick up in intensity in Henderson. Look at the lightning there compared to what's going through Evansville. So Evansville looks like you got the weaker part of the line just based on what we're seeing on radar. We'll know here shortly based on storm reports. We have folks in the newsroom and we'll find out if we have any damage. But it looks like the stronger part of the line is Henderson southward down to Webster Union County line, that area there. And then, of course, we've got the tornado warning up here, northeastern Pike County, about to move across the White River into southeastern Davies, southern Martin counties. And then that severe thunderstorm warning continues all the way southward there. So this is the main event for many of us. And if you're watching in Illinois, I think you can go to bed. I think the threat is finally over with. Behind this line in Illinois, you're in good shape here. But for the rest of us, we got to get this line through. And you can see the individual cells are racing to the northeast at 60 to 70 miles per hour. The entire line is making eastward progress. The guidance had indicated that as we get into the very late overnight hours, this eastward progress may slow. And we could get into more of a training situation with maybe more of a heavy rain threat. But you can clearly see the heart of the storms pushing right into the Evansville metro. Now, Owensboro, you're not under a warning yet. You've got these storms headed your way. But as of right now, you'll get probably some sort of warning here shortly in Owensboro. But main event for Evansville is playing out. And we've got a pretty healthy storm, at least lightning-wise, pushing through Henderson right now. That could be a good indicator of some of the stronger winds. Anything new from the Weather Service, Stacy?
They did update that tornado warning up there, so they have kind of canceled it now for Gibson County. It has moved east of Gibson County, but it continues for that northeastern part, or northeastern part of Pike County. You can see basically south of Petersburg toward Winslow, and then up to the northeast, where we're still kind of seeing that notch. And like Wayne just said, we have some folks in our newsroom. They've been monitoring scanners and checking with the different communities and counties as we've gone through this entire night. And they are beginning to hear some reports of some damage in the Francisco area when that line went through there. And that was also where we potentially had kind of right where we maybe began to see that spin up there. And we started to see that tornado warning being issued. So we'll continue to follow that. Haven't heard any reports out of the Oakland City area yet. We also were tracking kind of that notch and that potential tornado there in the Oakland City area, but that's now what's up to the northeast. So we will continue that tornado warning. And again, it's kind of been radar confirmed, and it also has that considerable damage tag on it as it continues to move up to the northeast. Starting to get some reports too of some power outages from Centerpoint over about 2,600 right now is what they are telling me. So kind of makes sense as we're kind of seeing the main event move through the Evansville metro right now with those straight line winds. So that's kind of the latest that we have from here. I'll pull back and kind of show you just that one tornado warning up there in parts of Pike County, over into northern DuBois County, and then kind of southern Davies and Martin counties. And then it's severe thunderstorm warnings for straight line winds, but those warnings are those for the potential of those winds to be up to 70 miles per hour.
Indeed, and it is a long line of storms right now, so let's ride that line from north to south, and we're still seeing that circulation right along the White River there. So it looks like the tornado threat for Pike County is just about over with. That's pushing into southern Davies County. You can kind of see it a little more pronounced now. You got the darker blue up against the brighter red right on the river there. So that's going to be shooting up to the west of Alfredsville and then kind of going up towards the Lagodi area. So I know we have viewers up in Lagodi. If you're in Lagodi, you've got tornado. Henderson area. keeping an eye on the wind. But yeah, there's a potential tornado right on the White River there as it crosses into southern Daviess County, and that's going to be pushing northeastward towards Lagodi. So I know it's a fringe county, but if you are watching in Lagodi, be alert. That tornado circulation is moving your way. The gust front, straight line damaging winds right along the Pike DuBois County line, probably now clearing the Pike County line and beginning to push into western DuBois County. So Jasper, you got potentially damaging 60-mile-per-hour winds. There's the new sweep moving your way, just minutes away for Jasper and Huntingburg. Moving south down the line, the gust front now pushing across northern Warwick County. It's going through Boonville now, pushing through Tennyson. And then farther to the south, it is cleared through the Newburgh area, through Paradise, the strongest winds, and now Evansville's on the backside of the strongest winds, at least the way it looks right now, at least the gust front. Sometimes behind the gust front, you'll continue to have some very strong winds. We'll see if that's the case, but at least the leading edge of the strongest winds now pushing through Newburgh. They have already pushed through Henderson, now pushing across Henderson County. They look a little bit weaker the farther south you go. That gust front now pushing across Webster County, and then we're watching this cell that has a tornado warning on it down here between Fredonia and Marion, Kentucky. I'm going to go put a look at Paducah's radar here and see if that is showing any kind of significant rotation, because that has a tornado warning on it there. And as of right now, it doesn't look like that is all that impressive, and that tornado warning just south of the trade water there. But that general storm is moving up towards Providence and northwestern Hopkins County. But I don't see a circulation that looks overly concerning right now, but certainly a severe thunderstorm a possibility.
And we've had a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust reported in Newburgh, and we've also had a 72-mile-per-hour gust reported at the Henderson Mesonet site. And now CenterPoint is reporting about 4,500 customers without power, kind of in their whole coverage area in southwestern Indiana. Okay, all right. So yeah, this has been the main event for the Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh area. And it looks like the worst of the winds are hopefully over with in Evansville. Let me go back here and look at the reflectivity. We'll back up the camera here and just give you a bigger perspective of what's going on. But there's a line of storms as it trails all the way down across Webster County. And now we'll pan up here into the metro, and we can see that the leading edge of the storms has swept through the city. So Evansville, Henderson on the backside. I think this swath right here coming out of Henderson looks a little more impressive. It's got a lot of lightning with it, and you said Henderson did clock a pretty strong 72.
Gust.
That's 72. The highest straight line wind gust I've seen.
Straight line winds, yeah. So I would say there's a pretty good chance of some 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts now approaching the Henderson-Davis County line, pushing out of Henderson across the eastern part of the county. The gust front is through Evansville, Newburgh, and Paradise. It's now pushing through Boonville, down towards the Yankeetown, approaching Yankeetown, over to the Tennyson area, and then up here to the north, we've got that line pushing into Jasper, and this part of the line continues to have much more lightning with it, and they have now upgraded. Well, this looks like that's an update to the tornado warning, and then they also issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Now for all of Davis County. So now Owensboro's under that warning. So let's look at the latest on that. So new severe thunderstorm warning for Warwick County, all of Spencer County, southeastern Pike County, and Davis County. So now Owensboro, you are under the severe thunderstorm warning. It does look to me like, let's see, I'm trying to see. It is kind of that higher end one, so they are still talking about winds of 70 miles per hour possible, and that makes sense because we are now starting to see quite a few reports between about 65 and 70 mile per hour winds, and even over that in the Henderson area. So not surprised that they continued with that higher end severe thunderstorm warning for those straight line wind gusts of 70 miles per hour, and that line is moving northeast at 70 miles per hour too. So the line continues to move very rapidly and again producing some of those 70 mile per hour wind gusts as it does. Indeed. Yeah, a lot of straight line damaging winds here. And of course, that's one of the reasons we were upgraded to moderate, at least in our western counties, for the potential of widespread damaging 70 mile per hour winds. But we were all in that hatched area for potential 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and we are indeed seeing that. And it's not a big surprise. But what we're also seeing now is more of a linear line of storms as opposed to, supercells just kind of up and down a line that have a much more higher tornado threat. This is more of a damaging straight line wind concern, but we could get embedded tornadoes within that line. And they just upgraded the DuBois County warning to 70-mile-per-hour winds there. And that's a line pushing into Jasper right now. There is still a circulation on the northern end of this line pushing up towards Lagodi. So tornado warning in effect for the Lagodi area there, and points just to the southwest. Now that's not technically in our main viewing area, but I know we have viewers up there. So if you're up in Lagodi, you need to be in your tornado safe area. And the rest of us, we're dealing with these straight line winds. Evansville, you can kind of start to think about going to bed. It looks like you're on the backside of the strongest winds there, and I don't think we're seeing too much more in the way of strong winds lingering behind the leading edge of this. So certainly in Illinois, you've got the green light to go to sleep right now. Evansville, we're just about there, pretty much west of US 41. In Indiana, we're there. Not so much in Kentucky. That line is still to the west of 41 down in western Kentucky, and we still have a ways to go. We got to get this line all the way through our eastern counties. And the hope is the farther east it gets, it will slowly weaken in intensity. But as of right now, we have warnings across the entire line, all the way from the White River all the way down to the trade water. And all of these warnings are the higher end severe thunderstorms, 70-mile-per-hour wind warnings. We were kind of anticipating that heading into this event, but the strong damaging winds have already moved through Evansville. We have some reports of power outages there. There are some trees that have knocked down. We've got some folks in the newsroom gathering information on that, but it looks like the worst is pushed through Evansville. Still a lot of heavy rain and lightning for another 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, but at least the main swath of damaging wind is now pushed through Evansville. And basically it's right along this leading edge of the heavy rain where you've got the damaging wind, and that's now pushing into Jasper. It's pushing into Huntingburg. It's pushing into Tennyson, getting very close to the Warwick, Spencer County line, and then down along the Henderson, Davis County line, and a new tornado warning for that storm up near Lagodi. We'll head up there, and indeed, this is the Weather Service out of Indianapolis, looking at the storm right there. Coming towards the Lagodi area. I was giving you the heads up there earlier. That circulation began to spin up there along the White River and is now pushing towards Lagodi. They've extended that warning well up into Martin County.
Yeah, and it's a radar confirmed tornado warning on this one, and also quarter-sized hail. So they are worried about a potentially damaging tornado and quarter-sized hail with that. Confirmed on radar, and it's been kind of what we've been seeing with this particular storm and all these tornado warnings. But again, Martin County, all of Martin County under that tornado warning now, west central Lawrence County, and then southeastern Davies County, all under that tornado warning until 3:31. So we'll go in a little tighter. I was kind of looking ahead to kind of see what we were expecting as we head into the early morning hours and then tomorrow morning, and we'll get to more about that here in just a second. But we'll send it back to Wayne, and he'll have the latest on that tornado warning up there and the rest of that line that we're still watching.
Yeah, and we're getting more reports of damage in from the Oakland City, Francisco area. And of course, we had that tornado warning for that line as it came off of 41. It seemed to intensify, and now reports of some damage up in Oakland City and Francisco. We're gathering more information on that. Tornado warning right now up in southern, really southeastern Davies, southern Martin, central Martin counties. Possible tornado moving towards Lagodi. Northern end of a long line of storms, and the entire line has the potential to produce pockets of damaging 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. But the main line is pushed through Evansville. It is pushed through Henderson. It's just about through Newburgh. So what I'll do, let me just kind of ride the line here from north to south and kind of show you what's going on here, starting with the one up here to the north that has the tornado warning on it there. There's Lagodi, and let me just quickly look at the velocity to see if this is really starting to ramp up here, because it was certainly looking that way, and yeah, it sure is. So yeah, if you're in Lagodi, you really need to be in your tornado safe area. This looks like a much more developed couplet right there to the southwest, probably over Lagodi right now. So if Lagodi area, game on for what looks like a tornado. This is really ramped up quickly as across the White River and now pushing up into the city of Lagodi with what looks like a tornado on live Doppler radar that is going to continue northeast of Lagodi. and shoot up into central portions of Martin County, and you can see that circulation right now maybe just southwest of Lagodi. So you have just enough time to get to your basement or your tornado safe area as fast as you can, because that tornado, if it isn't there just yet, it's about to roll in quickly from the southwest into the city of Lagodi. We gave you a heads up about 10 minutes ago, but now it's game on for the city of Lagodi. A very pronounced couplet right there on live Doppler radar. Let me just look at raw velocity there. Yeah, the storm relative velocity is clearly showing that rotation wrapping up there. So that's a dangerous situation for the city of Lagodi. And this is the same part of the line that produced the damage back here in Oakland City and the Francisco area. And it looks like it's been sporadic along the line. It looked like it weakened some as it pushed across Pike County, and it quickly spun up as it crossed the White River and is now pushing into the city of Lagodi with what looks like a tornado. Now, farther to the south, let's ride the line here and show you where the damaging straight line winds are. Basically on this leading edge, they've pushed through Jasper and Huntingburg now, pushing into eastern DuBois County, and now beginning to push into Spencer County, right along that gust front, now crossing over the Warwick-Spencer County line, now crossing over into Davis County, right on the river there on the Henderson-Davis County line. The damaging straight line winds moving towards Owensboro. And then farther to the south, leading edge about to push into Beech Grove there on the Henderson-McLean County line, pushing through Dixon now, about to push through Seabury. Providence, you've got the storm on your doorstep there. A little more lightning associated with that cell down there. So could be something a little more ominous trying to spin on that part of the line, and we got a little bit of enhancement there on the wind down here in the Providence area. So anytime you see the lightning, that's often a red flag that we've got something that's kind of sticking out and a little more serious than what we're seeing along the rest of the line. And in Providence, you might be seeing something a little more intense, something that's trying to maybe organize and spin up there, what we call one of those QLCS circulations about to push into Providence. So we got warnings out, severe thunderstorm warnings for the entire line, 60, 70 mile per hour winds. But this part of the line moving into Providence, I would take this a little more seriously. I think you got the potential for some even stronger winds there in the Providence area coming in from the west right now. And of course, once we get past that, we are out of our viewing area. But Hopkins County, you're still waiting for the storms to arrive. And these storms here will kind of shoot more to the north of Madisonville. And here we are at 3:35, and our southern counties have yet to see the storms. And you can see the line kind of goes back to the southwest here. So this may take a while to really clear the entire tri-state. May take a while to get it through our southeastern counties as the eastward progress of this line slows down here through the very late night hours. But there's what could be something trying to get organized near Providence, enhancing the straight line wind threat. Dixon, you got the swath that has moved on through. Owensboro, it's about 10, 15 minutes away from you. So you got the damaging straight line winds moving your way. Spencer County, you've got the wall of wind now coming in from the west. And DuBois County has already surged across much of the county there. And then we've got what looks like a tornado up here in the Lagodi area. Let me get back to the velocity here. And yeah, this thing is really wrapping up now probably just north of Lagodi. So my guess is we probably have got a tornado here that has pushed through the city of Lagodi and is now going to move up here into central Martin County here. Of course, a little farther north than our main viewing area, but we do have viewers up in the Lagodi area. Matter of fact, I have a spotter, and I'm hoping that he can check in with me and let me know exactly what happened in Lagodi. But it looks like that tornado is in the process of pushing to the north right now. And yeah, that's another severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like they just put out for the entire line. So let me clear that off, get back to the reflectivity. And it looks like just a severe thunderstorm warning for the entire line. Are you hearing, Stacey, anything new from the Weather Service in terms of damage reports that are coming in?
From our newsroom, we've heard, we're starting to hear more from the Oakland City area. So we actually have a crew on the way now to Oakland City to kind of check things out there. So once they get up there and they can kind of see what's going on, we'll have more information on that. As far as from the Weather Service, just a lot of those reports of anywhere from 60 to 70, even a little little bit over 70 mile per hour winds. Straight line winds, you can see, it looks like that might be a new severe thunderstorm warning. I think they're just continuing that severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, so I don't think we have any new warnings, but again, all of these warnings have that kind of black outline, and that indicates a higher end severe thunderstorm warning for straight line winds up to 70 miles per hour, and we've had a lot of those confirmed. And Wayne was pointing out that area down there in southwestern Webster County, you can see where the lightning has picked up a little bit down there, and we were watching a tornado warning before that moved into southwestern Webster County there around the Providence area. So it did weaken, at least that rotation weakened enough that the Weather Service just went with that higher end severe storm warning. But again, maybe even a little more of a reason to kind of pay a little closer attention to the Providence area up toward the Dixon area. You got a lot of lightning there, and for a while that storm that's moving through your area did have a tornado warning on it for a little while. So hopefully it will just be those straight line winds, but even that, we may have those straight line winds at or just above 70 miles per hour. Again, our power outages, from what I've seen, are going up a little bit, especially when that line went through the city of Evansville. So hopefully maybe those are kind of leveling off now.
Yeah, and I'd say for the cities of Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh, all clear in terms of severe weather. The main line has moved on through. You're going to have some lightning and some thunder and some rain here for the next 30, 45 minutes, but I think the severe weather threat has ended. And I know it's late. It's already 3:40. Fortunately, it's a Friday night, so a lot of you hopefully don't have to get up early tomorrow morning. But I think the severe threat has ended now for Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh, and points west of 41 in Indiana, not in Kentucky. Dangerous situation, though, up here in our far northeastern corner of the tri-state. What looks like a tornado. This is one of the better signatures we've seen all night. Really spun up quickly when it crossed the White River, went right through the city of Lagodi, or very close to it, and now that circulation is still holding together. You just saw the sweep come through. It's now to the northeast of Lagodi, just crossed Highway 231, and would be pushing over fairly rural areas there of Martin County. Of course, you got Crane up here in the far northern part of the county. And of course, you got over here, Orange County. Actually, Orange County is down there. So yeah, so this is going to be way up in the northern part of Martin County, staying north of Shoals, but you can clearly see that circulation right there. So we'll continue to monitor that, keep the information scrolling at the top of your screen. Our sister station up in Terre Haute will also be covering that for you. But that is the one tornado that we're concerned about right now. The rest of the area is just damaging straight line winds. And I say just, it's significant. We've had power outages and some wind damage here in the city of Evansville with that swath of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that moved on through. So not to belittle these straight line winds, but like we were saying earlier, if that's all we get tonight coming out of a level 3 to 4 threat for severe storms and tornadoes, I think we're doing okay. But having said that, there is reports of significant damage up in the Oakland City, Francisco area. May have had a tornado touchdown there. We're still gathering more information on that. So again, leading edge here, we continue to actually zoom in here a little tighter. We'll ride that line from north to south and show you where it is. And it looks like the leading edge is across much of Martin County, but you've got that embedded tornado in the line. Du Bois County, looks like the worst has now gone through Jasper and Huntingburg. Birdseye, you're seeing the winds hitting right now. Spencer County, you're just seeing the strong straight line winds coming in from the west. Perry County, you still have to see these storms move on in. Davis County, Kentucky, Owensboro, these storms are just off to your west. So these will be coming in here shortly in the next 10 minutes with potential 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. And now you can see the tail end of the line kind of curls back to the southwest here, and we're seeing less eastward progress than we are up here to the north. So that leading edge of the storms is still just northwest of the Hopkins-Webster County line, and we continue to see a pretty interesting signature down here in the Providence area that kind of looks like it's a supercell that's trying to form on that line. So let me just look at the velocity here. And yeah, we're starting to see something trying to spin up there over the city of Providence. I was pointing this out about 10 minutes ago, and it looks like we may have something that is trying to organize and rotate over the city of Providence. Right there, could be rather broad rotation, but you can kind of see the reds, the blues, and look at the reflectivity. You see the notch right there. So it looks like, and then you got a really good hail core with a lot of lightning up there to the north of Providence, just west of Dixon, just along and west of 41A. So you've got, I think, an embedded supercell trying to form within the tail end of that line. And keep in mind, farther south you go, the higher the moisture content, and the more moisture, the more energy these storms basically have to feed off of. And so not too surprised that in our northern counties, north of the river, we're seeing more linear with embedded circulations. To the south, we're still seeing more of a broken line with these supercell circulations trying to form. And we've got something trying to form here in the Providence area. Dixon, you're going to get some hail and get some pretty intense cloud-to-ground lightning, and then that's going to continue to move off to the northeast up towards Seabury, and then eventually up into McLean County. But it's that little notch right there that I'm a little more concerned with. And matter of fact, I haven't used this radar yet tonight, but let's use the radar out of Hopkinsville because it has a clean shot into that storm a little farther away. But it's got a very clean shot into that, and you can kind of see that bright red up against the light blue. It's not too pronounced there, but you can kind of see a little something there. But perhaps the VWX radar, or actually Paducah, we'll take a look at Paducah and see what that is showing. And it's certainly showing something that's a little different than the rest of the line that is pushing through the city of Providence here. But we'll use that Owensville radar. I think that will continue to give us the best view of what's going on down there on that notch that is pushing through southern Webster County. That might be an indication of something trying to spin up. There's no tornado warning in effect for that, but we're certainly seeing a signature here of a storm that's trying to rotate. Let me put it that way. And it looks like it's through Providence now, and that notch is just on the Webster County side of the Hopkins County line there, riding to the northeast, and that would be kind of moving up in the general direction of Seabury up that way. And again, a pretty intense hail core and lightning and heavy rain pushing into the Dixon area. So that's the very latest on what's going on right now. Let's get the latest now on any damage reports that we've gotten in from these storms that have moved through a good deal of the tri-state. What do you have, Stacey?
Yeah, we still are getting reports from our newsroom of more and more power outages and more damage up around the Oakland City area. And like I told you a little bit ago, we do have a crew on the way there. So once they get there and they can kind of assess things and gather a little more information, we'll be passing that along to you. But it does look like in that Francisco over to Oakland City area, that's where we're seeing at least the most numerous reports of damage so far. Haven't heard of too many more power outages since initially that main line went through the Evansville area, and you can kind of see there this whole line that we are dealing with right now, and we'll kind of ride it from north to south for you. So the leading edge now has almost pushed its way through all of DuBois County, that leading edge getting down into the southeastern corner of DuBois County. Now you still have heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning, some gusty winds behind it, but that threat for those damaging 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts pushing through most of DuBois County now. But then it's just now starting to move into the Dale area and then down into the rest of Spencer County. So we've still got a ways to go with this. You can see it really hasn't even moved into the city of Owensboro yet, still just to the northwest of Owensboro, but you guys are next in line, and you'll be likely starting to see those winds pick up there too. And all of these warnings are for still the potential for some damaging 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And then again, that storm, you can see how the lightning really picks up down there in Webster County from Providence up to Dixon, and we got also looks like more in the way of hail too from Dixon and points to the north there. So we've still got a ways to go with this line. Let's kind of go over to our future tracker model here real quick, and this is kind of a short-term model, so it updates every hour for us and kind of gives us an idea of how things are playing out. And it might be a little bit slow, but not doing too bad of a job kind of picking up on this line, and this is where we're starting right now. So let's kind of go about an hour from now at 5 a.m. and you can see then it really starts to push a lot of the action down to the southeast of Evansville, but it's still taking its time in those southern and eastern counties of the tri-state. So as we've been telling you, the models had kind of been hinting at this, that things would kind of slow down as the overnight hours and we went into the early morning hours. Hopefully at the same time, these storms are going to be continuing to gradually weaken. But even as we get into about, and it does kind of show that, you can see by 6 a.m. some of the heavier, stronger storms finally sliding off to the east. We still have a little bit of shower and storm activity kind of filtering in behind it, but at least for a while doesn't look like it's all that strong. And then as we go through tomorrow morning, a lot of that moisture tries to lift back to the north, and it won't just be one line of storms coming through tomorrow, but it looks like we could have some more waves of showers and storms, especially from Evansville to the south and east. As I kind of go through tomorrow morning, you can see where those heavier areas of rain and potentially some storms will be, and that is especially to the south and to the east of Evansville. And then finally, by later tomorrow afternoon, we may begin to see things wind down, but we could have some areas of heavy rain and storms into much of tomorrow afternoon. And we will have a risk for severe weather tomorrow. This is kind of the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. It's just a lower threat than what we've been dealing with tonight. Remember, tonight we've been in a level 3 to 4 out of 5 for our severe risk. Tomorrow we'll be in a level 1 to 2 out of 5 for that severe weather risk, and especially in areas south and east of Evansville. Looked like we had a new tornado warning.
Tornado warning. And indeed, on that storm I was watching down in the Providence area, they have put a tornado warning on it. That was that circulation that I was watching coming out of Providence. Now a tornado warning. And indeed, it's that part of the storm right there that I was watching just on the other side, on the Webster County side of the Hopkins County line. Now, this warning does include far northern Hopkins County, and Hopkins County may be a county where the sirens are all or nothing. So you may be hearing sirens going off area wide, and it looks like for the most part this is probably going to stay in Webster County. Maybe for those of you right along the county line in Hopkins, Webster, you might see this, but the circulation is right there to the east southeast of Dixon. Kind of watch this spinning up in the Providence area, and there it is. You can see those reds up against the blues, and that is a signature that's been trying to evolve here over the past about 15 to 30 minutes, and indeed now it looks like it's trying to produce a tornado. So we'll zoom in here a little tighter and try to give you specifics on where this possible tornado is, because it looks like we may have had a tornado already this evening up in the Oakland City area, and now we've got a tornado between the communities of Vanderburgh, Kentucky, not Vanderburgh County, Indiana, but Vanderburgh, Kentucky in Webster County, and Gatesville. That looks like where we have the circulation just crossing over Kentucky, 630, pushing up towards Gatesville. Breton would be next, and there is 41, and then I-69 over here. Seabury up a little farther to the north, and we'll zoom in a little bit tighter yet there. The new circulation, or the new update just came in. Let's pull back a little bit here to kind of give you a better perspective, but the circulation is right there. So here is Slaughters, there's northeastern Webster County, of course Seabury up there, and we've got that circulation in the Gatesville area. And another tornado warning has come in.
They are saying a train spotter in Providence reported a tornado on the ground.
Okay, okay. So that verifies what we were seeing earlier. And they just extended the tornado warning up in northeastern Martin County with that storm that we were tracking coming out of Lagodi. So no surprise there. But back here into Webster County, there is the circulation. Let me get back to the velocity data here. Storm relative. Raw velocity, that circulation is right in that area. Reflectivity is kind of showing it that notch, and it's kind of cycling up and down. So we got another severe thunderstorm warning coming in, and that is for a good deal of Hancock and Perry counties now, and eastern Spencer County. So everybody's, I think, is going to get a warning eventually from this line. What's the Weather Service saying about this one, Stacy? This will be coming from the Louisville warning office.
Yeah, from Louisville. They've got that for Perry County, Hancock County, and also northern Ohio County. That's going to go until 5:30 Eastern 4:30 Central. So they've got those severe thunderstorms kind of along that line from near Dale to Owensboro, and they've got it moving east at 50 miles per hour. So that's a little slower, and that is kind of indicating what we've been thinking, that especially the southeastern part of this line would maybe slow down as the night went on, and I think indeed it is. So moving east at 50 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gust, and quarter-sized hail are the main concerns there. So it is kind of our basic severe storm warning there for Hancock, northern Ohio, and Perry counties. So that's the latest on that. As that part of the line moves to the east at 50 miles per hour, be prepared for some 60 mile per hour straight line winds and maybe some quarter-sized hail too.
Okay, and then getting back to Webster County, and before I do, just got word that 911 is down in Henderson right now. Maybe the whole county, certainly the city, because of the wind and the power outages here. So if you're trying to use 911 in Henderson, it's not working right now. Webster County, possible tornado right there east of Gatesville, moving towards Elmwood, and there's I-69, there's Seabury. It looks like this is going to come in south of Seabury. Seabury, you could get hail. Look at the hail core right there, southeast of Wanamaker. So that's going to go to the Seabury area, but we have a circulation trying to spin right there to the east of Gatesville, and that would move up towards Elmwood and eventually up towards the Wrightsburg area. It seems to be kind of cycling up and down. Reflectivity was looking a little more impressive about 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, and now it's kind of getting lost once again in that gust front. But we were watching it for quite a while down in Providence when it did not have a tornado warning on it, and apparently a spotter did confirm a tornado in Providence. We don't know of damage, but we do know that a spotter there confirmed it. And then we watched that circulation move northeast. Weather Service put the warning out, and now we're starting to see that circulation weaken once again, and what's left of it is to the northwest of Slaughters. So it looks like this is going to probably cross I-69 north of the Slaughters exit, and we believe that we are on WBKR now. So if you're listening along in your car on WBKR or any of our radio affiliates here, and you're on I-69 in Webster County, it looks like we got a possible tornado, be a weak one, but still a tornado that's about to cross I-69 between the Seabury and Slaughters exit there. The circulation getting very close to 41 right now, and then of course 69 would be next. And there's Seabury, there's your circulation, there's Slaughters, so that looks to be where we got a possibility of a tornado. It's not as pronounced as what we were seeing up near Lagodi about 20 minutes ago, but we got a nice notch right there. Hail core on the north side, so a little embedded supercell on the tail end of one of these lines is trying to get its act together and produce a tornado, and that's going to be pushing, it looks like, just south and east of Seabury. Seabury is going to be a close call just based on the motion here, but these storms are going more northeast now as opposed to due east. So it looks like the circulation is just south of 132, just to the south of Seabury, and it looks like the new updates come in, and this is actually going to get a little closer to Seabury, just south of the city. But if you're in Seabury, I'd probably be in your tornado safe area here in the next 10 minutes and let this storm go on through, because it looks like it's going to pass very close, perhaps just south of Seabury, cross over I-69, and then get up into the northwest corner of McLean County, and that would be still west of Beech Grove, basically that northwestern part of the county where Henderson, Webster, and McLean counties all come together. It looks like that circulation would be going up your way, but that's the one tornado warning we have on the board right now, in addition to damaging 60 to 70 mile per hour straight line winds across the entire line, which has now pushed through the Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh area. Owensboro, we're still waiting for the arrival there. And as we go over here a little farther to the north, you can see that line is making very slow progress. It is really slowing down, which is going to increase perhaps a flash flood threat for these storms training over the same area. But Owensboro still sitting high and dry here with these storms firing off to the west, but not making a lot of progress to the east. So we'll have to keep an eye on this cell here coming out of the Seabury area with the tornado warning on it. It's moving in the general direction of Owensboro. Now, these QLCS circulations don't always hold together as long, but they may. They could cycle up and down, and And then that could be moving in your general direction, kind of riding the leading edge of that line, which is slowly pushing towards the Owensboro area. So right now it's a tornado warning for northern Webster, far northwestern McLean County. Calhoun, you're fine. This is staying well to the northwest of Calhoun. But that far northwestern corner of McLean County, areas near Seabury, and then perhaps extended into western Davis County if that circulation holds together. It has not been overly impressive, but at times it has been spinning up there on the leading edge of that gust front. So that's the one tornado warning that we have. Farther to the south, Hopkins County, you're still waiting for the storm, still well to the north and west of Madisonville, as the southern end of this line is just not making any more progress. And that could prolong the severe threat in our southern counties because the air down here has not been worked over. It's warm, it's unstable, and you still have this energy moving on through. And I see a new tornado warning here. And this is for western Hopkins County. All right, new tornado warning for a storm near Fredonia, which is west of Hopkins County, but they've extended that warning into basically western Hopkins County. Madisonville, you're not under the warning. Dawson Springs, you're on the edge of this warning. There's Princeton, there's Fredonia, and there is Marion. So it looks like we've got a circulation in the Fredonia area that is going to be moving up. The trade water is right there. So this is going to be over northern Caldwell County, and that's going to come in, it looks like, eventually across the trade water and cross into western Hopkins County to the north of Dawson Springs. What is the Weather Service saying about that, Stacy?
Yeah, so this new tornado warning is going to go until 4:15. So really that's just for the next 15 minutes. But it's for northwestern McLean County, northeastern Hopkins County, and then central Webster County. And they are saying that this is moving to the northeast at 70 miles per hour. So it is moving pretty quickly. And that's going to go, actually, yeah. That was the old one. Here's the new one. Now it refreshed again. So this new one that they've extended is going to go until 4:30. So that's for the next 30 minutes. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Eddyville. And they just have this moving east at 50 miles per hour and moving east. So that's a little bit different. Most of these storms in this line individually have been kind of moving to the northeast as this line really kind of slows down and kind of stops making a lot of eastward progress. But they are slowing it down even more. So it's a radar indicated rotation on this tornado warning, again going until 4:30 for southwestern Hopkins County, and that will kind of be for that potential tornado there as that storm gradually moves to the east northeast at 50 miles per hour. And you can see a lot of lightning on that cluster of the storms there along that line. And I've been kind of watching that, and they did now put out that new tornado warning for that part of the line. Again, these are regular tornado warnings, which, you know, those are certainly serious enough. But earlier in the overnight hours, we had quite a few that were those higher end tornado warnings where we had confirmed tornadoes or for really considerable damage. But any tornado that we get in that touchdown, it's certainly going to cause some damage. But again, these are kind of our base tornado warnings that we're seeing right now, and they are for radar indicated rotation at this point. But we'll continue to watch to see if anybody in those areas starts to see anything.
Okay, and I've got a track on that tornado in the Fredonia area moving east at 50, so that puts it into Enon at 4:04, Cresswell at 4:10, Rufus at 4:12, Harper Ford at 4:13, Smith Ford at 4:15, and Smith Ford is very close to the trade water there, so it looks like it's going to be into western Hopkins County in about 15 minutes. Far western Hopkins County. Dawson Springs, you're okay. You're technically right on the edge of that polygon, but you can clearly see the circulation is here. And they have it moving east, which, as Stacy mentioned, is a little different than what we've seen much of the night. These have been moving more to the northeast, but even if we push it off to the east, it still stays clear of the Dawson Springs area. Now, Madisonville, you're sitting over here. It's moving in your general direction, okay? So we'll have to keep an eye on that for the Madisonville area. Hopefully what we're seeing here this late into the night won't be long track like what we saw earlier tonight when we had those supercells come out of southeast Missouri, northeastern Arkansas, into far southern Illinois. Those really held together for quite a while. Hopefully what we're seeing now is going to be more sporadic, not as long-lived, but still a tornado, and that is significant. And now our southern counties are coming into play here after the main line has swept through many of our northern counties here, with confirmed damage up in the Oakland City area, where we may very well have had a tornado earlier, about an hour ago. But right now, a tornado warning in effect for a storm that is still about 15 minutes away from Hopkins County. So I'm going to clear that away and go up here a little bit more to the north. Matter of fact, let me go back here and take a look at the other warning that we have up in the McLean, Webster, Henderson County area that has pushed up right there. We still have a notch there northeast of Seabury, and that's getting close to Davis County, pretty much now into the northwestern corner of McLean County. Let me check. I actually want to switch radars here back to VWX on this. And yeah, we're seeing that notch right there. Velocity is kind of there. You got the blues coming up against the red. Let me just see if that lines up with the reflectivity. And yeah, it does line up with that notch indeed. So that looks like our tornado tucked into the far northwestern corner of McLean County. And that would be just northwest of Beech Grove, right there. And that's going to go, sure enough, we got a new warning for that cell I'm just pointing out right now, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. That's the yellow polygon with the red in the middle, right there, about to push into Davis County, and this will include the city of Owensboro. So, Stacy, what are they saying?
Yeah, so that's for Warwick County. Oh, nope, no, it's not. They canceled that one. Sorry, I have so many warnings coming through here. But yeah, so this latest one, severe thunderstorm warning for Spencer and for Davis County, and that's for 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. Again, radar indicated, but that's what we're dealing with there. And also, I was going to point out before this new warning came down that we now have severe thunderstorm warnings with a tornado possible extended across Perry County, including the city of Tell City and also Hancock County. So you guys finally in our far eastern counties are at least about to see some of these storms move in from the west, and then they're going to kind of stick around a while, but hopefully at least that leading edge will get through, and that'll be the main kind of severe wind potential there. And again, those could still be as high as 70 miles per hour, but indicating that tornado possible. So as we've seen, it kind of cycles, but every once in a while along this line, we start to see something try to spin up. So let me make sure we don't have any new warnings here. But yeah, so this latest one for Davis, southeastern Henderson, northwestern McLean, northeastern Webster, that's going to go until 4:45. It actually has upped the size of the hail potential there to $half sized hail. And I want to say I just saw in the Seabury area some golf ball sized hail reported. So that may be kind of an indication to the National Weather Service that some of these storms are starting to produce some larger hail, because we haven't really seen too many large hail reports or threats as we've gone through tonight, but beginning to see a little bit more of that. But again, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, some large hail possible, and also still that potential that along these lines we could see a tornado try to spin up.
And I've got a storm track on that circulation that was originally a tornado. Now it's a severe storm warning, tornado possible. Still getting some lightning hits here at our studio, but we're good to go. You can see the notch right there, which is now pretty much right on the Henderson, Davis, McLean County line, where they all come together there. And so I'm just tracking the part of the storm that has the best likelihood of maybe spinning up a tornado. Into St. Joseph at 4:10, West Louisville at 4:12, Sargo at 4:15, Rome at 4:18, and then it gets into Owensboro, the western edge of the city, at 4:19. So this is about 15 minutes away from much of Owensboro, moving in your general direction here. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, damaging straight line winds with a possible tornado, and you can see the notch right there, which has shown rotation at times, and that is now about to cross into the southwestern corner of Davis County and moving in the general direction of Owensboro. And then eventually it would get up into maybe far southern Spencer County, right across the bridge there. But just kind of focusing in on that part of the line that has the potential to maybe spin up a tornado again. But that warning does include the city of Owensboro. The sirens are going off again in the city of Henderson. But remember, it's all or nothing, and we've got a small portion of Henderson County under a warning, and so the sirens are going off in the city of Henderson, and we are fine in the city of Henderson. New severe thunderstorm warning, and we've got a ton of polygons here.
Yeah, this is just a regular severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, but also quarter-sized hail. So again, I think the hail potential seems to be kind of kicking up a little bit more than it has been for some of tonight. But this one is for northern Hopkins County, also Webster County, and just south central Henderson County. So again, you just heard the sirens go off in the city of Henderson, but that main severe threat has shifted to the south and east of the city of Henderson. But you can see where they issued this new severe thunderstorm warning, and it does still have a tornado possible tag on it. They're probably going to keep that going here for a little while because we have continued to see something try to spin up here and there along this line. But you can see how the lightning has really picked up, and you can see how concentrated it is there in southwestern Webster County and then down toward the Marion, Kentucky area, and some really bright and dark shades of red. So again, watch out for that quarter-sized hail potential in those areas too. But that's going to be moving up into the Dixon area as that kind of moves to the northeast. They've got it right now at about 60 miles per hour.
All right, you can see here in the bigger picture how much progress the line has made in our northern counties versus how little progress it has made down here to the south. But you can see Evansville still on the back edge of the storms, but we're still getting waves of rain with thunder and lightning coming in on the back side of this line. So I think the severe threat's over with for Evansville, certainly for Illinois, but we're still going to hear some thunder and lightning. The severe threat should be on the leading edge of all this activity, which continues to push more to the northeast. So if you're watching down, say, in southern Muhlenberg County, it could be a while before this really makes it your way. Same for Ohio County. And the guidance was kind of hinting at that overnight, that the line might kind of stall out and not really push all the way through, because this is not the cold front. That's not coming through until Saturday afternoon. And where all this eventually ends is going to dictate kind of how the severe weather threat sets up for later today, Saturday. And I think that's going to ramp up through the late morning and then first half of the afternoon, and hopefully by late Saturday afternoon, everything will get pushed out of here. But our long night continues, and still no end in sight here, since we still have a good chunk of real estate down to the southeast that is yet to get the storms, and we still have blanket severe thunderstorm warnings, including a couple of tornado warnings here and there, or at least tornado possible. I think, yeah, the tornado warning that is still on the board, that is the storm that now has a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible in southwestern Davis County. So they're all severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible, which is the yellow polygon with the red line inside, all on the leading edge. And what the guidance also indicated as the night wears on, that as this continues to the northeast, eventually this kind of just falls apart. It's not going to be a continuous train of strong to severe storms for the next 2 hours. I think in the next hour or two, eventually we'll begin to see the tail end of this kind of fall apart and get much more disorganized as we get past, say, 5 a.m. But like I said, it's going to take a little while longer. New warning has come on down, so let's see where that is. And that looks to be way up to the northeast. It looks like it's maybe far northern Perry County, and far eastern Du Bois County, severe thunderstorm warning there just ahead, again, on that main line, which we continue to see. But still some thunder and lightning in Evansville, certainly in Henderson and Newburgh, but I think that severe threat has now shifted off to the east, and we're just going to have to wait for this line to slowly weaken overnight, and the energy is going to slowly weaken. It's been feeding this, and we're going to see some stabilization overnight. But then as things heat up tomorrow morning, sun's coming up around 7 a.m., then we kind of reverse that, and things will start ramping up again, at least across the southeastern half of the tri-state, before everything gets swept eastward, at least ending the severe threat later tomorrow afternoon. So right now, working just numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me go ahead and slow the radar back down, and we'll ride that line from north to south here to show you exactly where it is. And we'll start up in the northeastern corner of the tri-state. And we're still gathering information on what's happened in Oakland City, because we do feel that we had a tornado touchdown in Oakland City, Francisco area, with some damage. We do have a news crew on the way up there. But as we take a look at see, the eastern end of this line is already into Orange County, Washington County. So the eastern end of the line is already cleared Du Bois County. But right here, northern Perry County, that's a pretty decent swath of wind right there, with that little Boeing line of storms on that line pushing just north of Tell City. So if you're watching in Perry County, it looks like some strong damaging winds passing north.